Hey, welcome to my channel, Philosophy in BIM. Today I'm going to share a tips and tricks on how to use filter and set up some color scheme plan for your RCP without using any of the Dynamo, any plugin, or anything like that. Okay, let's go. Okay, well, so let's talk about what we are trying to do today here. So in your floor plan in general, there is a thing called color scheme on your floor plan. So basically what happens is you can assign a color scheme to your floor plan. So things like this. When your color scheme is enabled, you can pretty much assign anything to your rooms to associate with color. Sometimes with your name, sometimes with the department, an area, or anything you want to try to do basically with anything that's associated with your room. So you can assign a color to associate with that function or the properties of your room. Then you can apply color scheme to basically make a color plan, a color diagram for your floor plan. Pretty straightforward, pretty strict out of the box. Okay. So what happens when you are trying to do that with your RCP, your reflector ceiling plan, right? So again, strict out of the box. There is no color scheme parameter associated with your color scheme, with your ceiling plan. There's nothing like that. So in this particular instant, what we are trying to accomplish is that there are times and places where we wanted to use the RCP to identify the ceiling area. For this particular example today, I want to set up a filter in such a way, color scheme actually, in such a way that to identify the different height of your RCP for your ceiling within the rooms. So the reason that being is we have project where from time to time we want to make sure that we have enough clearance for the ceiling to accommodate the HVAC equipments or sometimes for anything above the ceiling. So to be able to tell whether or not your room has sufficient ceiling height, for a large project with many rooms and many ceilings, setting up a color plan could be quite useful. Of course, you'll be like, yeah, I could easily tag my ceiling with like using spot elevation, for example. I could easily tell what my ceiling height is, right? Yes, absolutely. Or you can use just a ceiling tag to do that. But sometimes the purpose of color plan is to give you a quick, easy to to identify plan or graphics differences using colors, right? So you can do that simply by setting up a color scheme. In this case, with some filters, then you can set up a color scheme for your floor plan for your RCP, so that you can have different color association to represent your ceiling height. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at how we can do that. All right, so I'm in a ceiling plan right now. So let's go ahead and I have a duplicate plan that is used for my color plan for my RCP. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the ceiling here. You have a ceiling right now. You can tell that this ceiling currently is at 10 feet above finished floor. There is this parameter called height offset from level. As you can see here, pretty much every room has this parameter associated with the ceiling. Basically, this is how you can set up the height where it's associated with your level, right? So in this case, I have a ceiling, I have a compound ceiling, is actually located 11 feet above finished floor. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at the visibility graphics over here. If I look at the filter, currently there's no filter set up here. But what I'm going to do is to set up a filter in such a way that I could easily identify the ceiling object with the height associated with that. Okay, so I'm going to go to Edit New. And so first thing first is I do not have any filter set up. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a new filter. And in this case, I just want to name something that makes sense to me. So I'm going to call it RCP. And I want to have the height associated with that. So I know I have model certain ceiling height as various height So I know the first one is going to be 8 feet 6. I'm just going to go type it like that. So I have a ceiling RCP at 8 feet 6 right now. So everything is in Imperial. The second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set up a filter that is corresponding to my category for ceiling. So as soon as I check the ceiling category here, this is where I could choose what my filter rule associate with my ceiling. So first thing first is you notice that from the drop down, I'm looking for this one called height offset from level. So basically this is the one that I just talked about earlier. This is where your ceiling height that is going to associate with your level. So I'm going to go choose just that. So now with the filter rule, I can choose equal. As soon as I choose equal, if I go to the drop down, it'll tell you what's the current ceiling object height that I have in the model. So you can see right now I currently have 8 feet 6, 9 feet, 10 feet, 11, and 12 feet 6. So these are all my ceilings height offset from my level. So these just 5 different dimensions. So basically I can go set up my 8 feet 6 ceiling. So all I have right now is that I have a filter that's telling my Revit to say, okay, as long as I have ceiling that is currently placed at 8 feet 6, I want this filter to be targeted for these objects. That's basically what it is. Okay, I'm going to add to apply and okay. Now I'm back out to my visibility graphics override setting. So I just created a filter. So what I want to do is I want to add that filter from here. I'm going to choose this one and hit OK. So now I have a filter that is going to do what? Like I said, it's going to recognize the ceiling object that is currently at 8 feet 6 in this current view. So the next thing I can do, I'm going to go ahead and assign a color. So be careful whenever using the filter here. You have 2 different brackets to do. So it depends on what you're trying to do. If I'm on RCP, I'm trying to override my ceiling object that is presenting as a projected view. So because I'm trying to override all the color association with my ceiling, so I'm going to target the one under object projection and surface, not cut. In this case, I'm going to be choosing pattern here. So what I can do is I wanted to assign a pattern. So in this case, I want my pattern to be solid fill, and I want to pick some like bright color or anything basically that help me understand or recognize what that 8 feet 6 height means to me. So for now, I'm just going to choose orange here. Okay. Again, you can change any color you want basically. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Hit OK to back out. So let's go ahead and take a look after by applying that color to this filter. So we can see that right now I have ceiling that are currently at 8 feet 6 now being colored in orange basically here. So that's kind of how easy it is to set up a filter to associate with all your ceiling height. So you can easily tell right now, okay, I have all these ceiling in various rooms that are at 8 feet 6. Okay, so that's how you can do it. So why don't we go back and go to the filter tab by under the view and filter. We can now add a few more filters to represent different height, right? So the easy thing basically you can do now is once you have a filter set up, if I wanted to duplicate different height now, I could easily just, without making a new one, I can easily use the copy duplicate command and now start changing the naming here. So in this case, I want one filter set to be 9 feet, like so. Hit apply, go to the drop down, change it to 9, hit apply. I'm going to make another one for 10 feet, rename it. Go ahead and just rename it here to 10, hit OK, go for the drop down and it hit 10 feet. Hit apply again. Let's do 2 more. I'm going to duplicate this again. I have one for 11 feet. I know that. And I'll also update this here. And I have one more. Let's go do this right now. Okay. So now the last one is going to be 12 feet 6. Okay, well, mixed that mistake. Let me go ahead and rename it. Should be 12 feet 6 instead of 12. Go ahead and put it 12 6. Hit OK. Now I have all the filter that associate and represent different height that I need to do. Okay, I'm going to hit OK to complete it. And now I can go back to the visibility graphics setting, filter, and simply add all the filter that I have to this view, right? I can add it all at once. Again, now you can pretty much choose whatever color you want. So in this case, I want 9 feet to be something else. I'll go ahead and make a solid fill. 9 feet, I want some pink, maybe. Doesn't matter. And 10, I want it to be like a green, like a light green, like so. 11, let's pick some bluish maybe. Let's pick this one but lighten it a little bit maybe, like so. And the last but not least, I'll put maybe a yellow or red. Let's do yellow, but lighter yellow. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Boom. Yeah, I don't have the yellow, I think, which was the 11 feet height here. But you can pretty much tell now I have a color plan, color diagram from RCP. So if you need your RCP for model coordination with with your engineers, or maybe just with your own team, to easily quickly tell different ceiling height, that's one way to do it. Again, you don't have to use Dynamo. You don't have to use any Revit plugin. You can easily achieve this with just some simple filter and some color override to do that. Okay. So what about if you want to do this in 3D view? You can totally do it. That's very, very possible. So what I mean is, let's say I go to my 3D view here. Let's say I will go ahead and use my section box. Let's do one for my first floor color plan. Again, I need to use it for floor plan for now. Again, right now, if I wanted to expose my ceiling, of course, I need to adjust that. So I'm going to go ahead and change my height slightly. So that's probably too much. Let me see. Okay, how about that? That should give me all the ceiling here. So let's take a look. Yeah, these are all the ceiling that exposed in my current cutout of the section box. So now if I go back to my visibility graphics, go to filter, I could add all the filter that I have. Pretty much the same concept. I can apply this to have solid fill. I think the first one is purple. And the second one is orange. And the next one, you can do this pretty quickly. I think it's the blue. I know I changed the blue a little bit there. And then I have yellow. The light yellow. And the last but not least, I have red. Right? Did I mess it up? Let's see. But again, you can see right now, I can also color code my RCP in my 3D view, just in case you need to do that in your 3D view for coordinations of things in that nature, right? I think I have some color messed up, but that's okay. But you get the idea. Yeah, I definitely have some mismatch of the color. But that's one easy way of setting up a filter and understanding the power of filter so that you can leverage the power of Revit to do things that is beyond your design intent. Again, always, ask yourself the questions. What if there's more than one way to do things in Revit? Or what if there's an easy way to do things in Revit without doing things manually? So again, setting up a color plan for your RCP can be a great way to do it, but you can take this idea further or using filter for something else. Okay? All right. So that's basically it. I hope you like this tip and tricks today. And if you have any questions or comment, leave a comment in this video. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe it. I really appreciate it for your support. And in the next video, I'm gonna share more tips and tricks for things in Revit, whether or not this is a project technique or it could be a family technique. Stay tuned. So I will have more tips and tricks or more tutorial coming up in my future videos. All right. Like I said, thanks again for your time. Really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. See you.